So today I'm going to be breaking down my favorite soul sample I've ever made, and you're gonna love it, so make sure to watch till the end. And if you want to know how to make crazy soul samples from scratch for Kanye West and Drake, this is the perfect video for you. Yo guys, up and welcome to another tutorial. Today I'm going to show you how to make crazy soul samples from scratch in the style of Kanye West and Drake. So first of all, I'm going to preview the sample, or I have previewed the sample, and I really hope y'all like it because I love it, even with the little intro and with the switch up. And I would recommend to y'all that y'all watch till the end because there obviously is a switch up, and I'm going to break down the whole sample step by step and pattern by pattern or sound by sound. This video will be really helpful if you want to know how to make like melodic soul type of samples. And if you haven't already, please make sure to subscribe as well. It would really mean a lot, and it would really help me. And if you want this and 4 other samples for free, y'all make sure to like, subscribe, and comment under this video, and DM me like on Instagram or X or like any other platform where you can find me, and I'm gonna send you 5 samples for free, including this one today. And as I said, I don't want to keep the intro too long. Make sure to keep an eye on the Vital multi-kit, which will drop soon. This one is really nice for making every type of sample, and it even has one-shots, which many of y'all wanted to have. So there you go. And as I said, if you want 5 samples for free, make sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe, and DM me afterwards. And yeah guys, let's get into the breakdown. So I started off with Contact, and I used the Delicious Keys preset with like the default preset, and as you can see, it's a very simple pattern which still has a lot of bounce or like a lot of rhythm, because that's what I think is really important with making like soul samples or like these type of samples, because the main melody really gives like the bounce, then you can add on to it as I did. But for this pattern right here, it's very simple. I'm in the key of D minor, and as you can see, this would have been a D minor like chord, but I pitched this A down and have another A right here, and then I basically just copied the F up, then just copied the chord over right here, but moved this F to an E just for some variation, then have like the default chord again, and then just went up. I basically just did this right here. I just copied it over, put the snap to scale thing on, and just pitched it up by 2, and then I went from an A to an G, so that's the chord right here, and then I copied over this chord right here, and then just pitched it up to an D, and put this A sharp to an A though. Then after that, I went into this D chord again, where the root note is still A, like it's basically this chord right here, and I left some space for another instrument, which I will show y'all in a second, to just complement the melody really. And then I just copied this part over, as you can see right there, but for this D chord I just added this A just for some variation. Then I basically just went down with the chords, so basically have like a little build up into the next section of the sample. So I went from this D chord to an C, then another C chord, but I added this A and this high A, and this D chord again. I just switched the A to an A sharp and put an F right here just that it goes down, and then this D and F, and as you can see, I have this G just for some higher notes and some tension, then went down to an E, and that's really all I did for the chord progression. It sounds really hard to make, but if you have the snap to scale thing on, you can basically just move chords up and down and just see how they fit, and then just like change some notes from these chords, and you'll find a good chord progression. And as I said, just bring some rhythm in and you'll be good to go. And what I did as well was randomizing the velocities, which you can do with Alt and R, and I went into this magnet thing right here, put it to none, and strummed these chords like all individually to make them just sound more realistic, the same thing as I did with the Alt and R method. And the finished chord progression is sounding like this. And for the effects on this piano, I have this Valhalla vintage rub right here. With these settings, I tweaked the mix, the decay, the pre-delay, and the low cut. Then this simple soothe on its hard setting and the depth to 1.7, and this knob on. Then this simple EQ, where I just basically took out some frequencies that were too harsh. And this EQ, where I did the same thing, but cut out some of the lows as well. And for this video, I will just like have the Contact, like the piano right here, and play this organ with it, so you can get a hang of what everything sounds like and how everything like complements each other. So for the second part, or like for the second sound, I have this UAD Waterfall B3 organ, and if y'all didn't know, UAD Spark is on a sale right now, or like it's really cheap. It's 99 cents for 3 months, so y'all make sure to get that. They have really good plugins, and one of them plugins is this Waterfall B3 organ, and I use this down in the Dunes preset. I didn't change anything, and as you can see, what I basically did was just copying the first chord from the piano pattern and pasting it right here, and pasted it every one bar besides right here, and I randomized the velocities as well, and the organ and the piano together are sounding like this. Then for the organ, I have this Valhalla vintage verb where I had the mix to 51%, then I tweaked the decay, the pre-delay and the low cut, then the simple soothe on its default settings. I just turned this knob from soft to hard, and this EQ where I just cut out some of the lows and removed some of the high mid frequencies because they were too harsh. Now for the next thing, I used Keyscape and I used the LA Custom Chorus Rhodes, and I don't think I changed anything. Besides, I turned off the mono and I played a little bit with the reverb because it was a little bit too much for me. And as you can see, it's a very simple pattern. It goes from an E to an A and then to an G again. And I didn't randomize the velocities, and the piano with the Omnisphere right here is sounding like this. And then for the effects on his Rhodes, I have this EQ right here just to EQ out a lot of lows and a lot of highs, just to duck it more into the background. And I have this EQ just to cut out some frequencies that I didn't really like. Then for the next thing, I use Omnisphere or like Keyscape again, and I use the Dolce Tone Clear Bell preset. I hope I pronounced it right. And I just played with the reverb again, and that's all I did. And as you can see, this is the pattern which fills up like the piano pattern, or like makes it sound not as empty as it was like before this pattern right here. And as you can see, I have this A to an D, then to an F, to an D, and then to an A again. And I have these little filler notes because it just sounded cool in my opinion. And as you can see, I pressed Alt and R again and randomized the velocities, and the piano with this Dolce Tone pattern is sounding like this. And for the effects on this Dolce Tone pattern, as you can see, I just have this simple EQ where I cut out a lot of the lows and low mids and ducked some of the frequencies that I didn't like. And then after that, I have these vocals right here because I can't sing and I can't even like hit one note. So I had to get on Splice and pick like this vocal right here, and I pitch it up by 5, lowered the volume by a little bit, put the mode to stretch, normalized it and put the declick mode to generic. And as you can see, I just chopped it up a little bit because this part was out of time, like just a tiny bit, but I didn't like it. So I just removed it, and the piano and the vocals together are sounding like this. And for the effects on these vocals, I have this fully delay too with these settings right here. This UAD Hitsville reverb chambers, and I have the medium Vox chamber preset on, and you can just copy the settings. This is basically what I did with the decay and the mix. Then this simple soothe on its default settings. This EQ just to remove some of the harshness. This EQ just to duck it a little bit more into the background and give it like a filter effect, I would say. And I have it 12% in stereo. Then for the next thing, I recorded my guitar, and as you can see, it's a very simple pattern, I would say. And I put the declick mode to generic, the mode to stretch, and that's all I did. I just normalized it, and the finished guitar sounded like this. Then for the effects on this guitar, I have this NS1 stereo just to remove the noise, then this UAD Brigade chorus, and this is probably the best chorus I've ever used. I have this preset on there, and I changed the mode from classical to dual, and that's all you have to do to make your guitar sound crazy vintage in like just basically 3 clicks. Then this Valhalla vintage verb where I tweaked the mix, the decay, the pre-delay and the low cut. This EQ, as you can see, just to remove some of the harsh notes or like frequencies again. Then this EQ where I just cut out some of the lows and low mids and boosted some of the highs, and I had a 12% in mono. Then before I show you all the switch up, I will show you all the drums, or like the perk loops, I would say. And I have the declicker mode on generic, the mode to stretch, and as you can see for this perk loop, which I have from Splice as well, I chopped it up just that I can add like another clap. And for the clap, I just pick this one right here, and that's really all I did. I can't really explain too much for this, but it's really important to add like drums just for the background and to give the sample a lot more depth. So this is what I did, and the drum loop and the clap are sounding like this. And then the last pattern before I show you all the switch up, I have this Gabi Rickenbacker bass with the double date preset, and as you can see, I have this pattern right here, which basically just follows the root notes from the sample or like from the piano pattern. And I have some like stutter notes or like shorter notes and like higher notes just to give it a lot more variation, and it sounds really, really cool. I didn't even change up the velocities, and the finished bass line is sounding like this. And for the effects on this bass, because I had the double date preset on, I just have the simple EQ. and this EQ just removed some of the muddy lows, and I added 100% in mono. And for the switch up, which is like kind of simple but really effective, I have this violin phrase right here because I sadly can't play the violin, and I have the declicker mode to generic, the mode to stretch, I lowered the volume by a bit, and I have this mini V3 right here with the 3 oscillator preset, I think that's how you say it. And I laid down this bass line, which is the same bass line than on the violin, but I removed the lows from the violin so the bass gets through, I guess that's how you say it. Simple bass line, I would say. Before I show you the full switch up or like outro, I will show you the bass line, and the finished bass line is sounding like this. And now the finished switch up, I'm gonna play it from here because then you have like a clue of how it sounds when the sample stops playing and the switch up or like the outro starts playing. So the switch up is sounding like this. And what I forgot to show y'all is this bass slide right here, which is basically for the intro or like to drop the sample. And I pitch it down by 1, pitch it down by 12 again, so basically pitch it down by 13. I played with the in knob and I think, yeah, I boosted it. I put the mode to stretch, declicker mode to generic, and the bass slide before the sample drops is sounding like this. And now for my mastering chain, I have this Abbey Road Vinyl 0 with these settings right here. This RC20 with the Luca Could Be a Pet preset. I just turned down the digital and the space. This L1 limiter 0 just to make the sample louder. This sound shifter pitch 0 from Waves, which is basically there to like pitch the sample, and I used it while making the sample, but I like the original pitch the most when I wanted to render it out, so I just left it on 0. Then this hyper chorus with the mix to 8%, and this EQ where I just ducked some of the lows, and this simple soothe just to clean up the sample a little bit. And as you can see, when I rendered the sample out, all I did was basically putting the declicker mode to generic, the mode to stretch, put it on 21st mixer track where this soothe is with these settings right here. Y'all can just copy these. I've basically soothe on my samples when I rendered them out just because I want like the really harsh frequencies to get cleaned up, but that's really all it is. And now I'm going to show y'all the finished sample, and I'm going to let it play through with like every section. So yeah guys, enjoy. So yeah guys, if you had enjoyed this video, please make sure to leave a like and to subscribe to the channel. It would really mean a lot and it would really help me. And as I said, if you want 5 free samples including this one, so 4 other free samples as well, make sure to leave a like and a comment and to subscribe, and send me proof on Instagram or like Twitter or any other platform y'all can contact me. Y'all can even send me an email and I'm gonna send you these 5 samples then. I would really appreciate that and it would really help me. And as I said, the Vital multi-kit is dropping soon. The cover's on the screen right now because this is really a game changer for y'all. I would really appreciate if y'all check it out when it drops, but I'm gonna let you know when it drops and I'm gonna give you an exact date. And if you haven't already, make sure to join my Discord. I want to get it active again. I'd really appreciate that, and I don't want to keep you out too long. Thank y'all for supporting me, and yeah guys, see y'all.